Get to know your district here on Morning Kick Around, identifying and digging into all the various cities and soccer districts across this amazing country of ours. And I'm very pleased to be welcomed by the president of New Mexico United, Ron Patel, to tell us more about the soccer district that is Albuquerque and New Mexico. Welcome to Morning Kick Around, sir.
Good morning, and just to rub it in, Jason, a little more.
You too, Ron.
Very
you
good.
Too. Here I was, Ron. I'm going to show you this scarf, this Albuquerque Soul scarf.
I remember
you gave me years ago. I still have it, still here in the studio, and now you're going to make me feel bad about Liverpool winning a title. Let's see how it works. But I'm glad you're here.
I was born a mile from Anfield, so it's in my blood. My first time at Anfield was in 1986, where my mom took me. So it was a great day yesterday, wasn't it, Ron?
Okay. Oh, yeah. I like this because now, we're going to get into a question of Americans and their relationship with foreign clubs later in the show after we talk to Ron. But now we have Ron's story, born a mile from Anfield. That makes it pretty hard to say he shouldn't be a Liverpool fan. So but you are in American soccer these days, Ron. And again, from the days of the Albuquerque Soul, now with New Mexico United, one of the success stories of recent USL Championship vintage. I know we've got a little bit of video off some stuff you guys have created around the team, but tell us where this is right now for Albuquerque, for New Mexico United, and the growth of this team.
Velocity, I think, is a good word. I mean, we've been going for 7 years now. I mean, Jason, when I first met you, I had a team in the USL PDL back then. It's now USL League 2, and then in 2017 we bought a franchise with a new ownership group in USL Championship. And, New Mexico, everyone kind of questioned whether it would work or not here. Not a lot of things, not a lot of hugely positive things have come out of our state as of late. Yeah, we're known for Breaking Bad a lot of the times, but that might not, it's funny to talk about, but it's not the most positive thing. But New Mexico is a beautiful place. I think the most beautiful place about New Mexico is our people. And our people have rallied around this team, adopted it as its own. And this thing doesn't work without them. And so this is built by New Mexicans for New Mexicans. And here we are in year 7. We've won 5 out of our last 7 games in all competitions. Had a nice win against a really good Union Omaha team in the Jägermeister Cup this weekend, and flying high right now. I think our goalkeeper, Alex Tambakis, hasn't allowed a goal in almost 500 minutes. It's a really good streak we're on.
That's pretty impressive. A great start to the season. Congrats on the hot start. And it's timely. You mentioned the Jägermeister Cup. What do you think of that introduction to the calendar?
Again, being in English and growing up in the football pyramid in England, I think it's awesome to see a League Cup come to light. And the USL, the league, has worked really hard over the years to make this thing work. I mean, the Jägermeister Cup, for those who don't know, last year was just for USL League 1. Now they've added USL League 1 and USL Championship. So while Open Cup is all leagues, this is something that happens amongst USL leagues. And then once we add that first division, there'll be 3 leagues that'll be in the League Cup. So loving the competition, and obviously it feels good after winning the first game.
Albuquerque as a place. I mean, again, you mentioned Breaking Bad. I mean, before that, Bugs Bunny was the only reference I got from for Albuquerque. I actually have visited New Mexico a couple of times. I had cousins who lived in New Mexico for a while, but give us a sense of the soccer vibes in Albuquerque, New Mexico as a whole, Ron, because you said people maybe didn't know if this was going to work, but if you got soccer fans, or you can convince people to be soccer fans, you could be successful.
Yeah, so I think there's 2 prongs to that answer. The soccer vibes are very vibrant. I watched Liverpool win the league yesterday at our Liverpool supporters club with about 200 people. And that's just for Liverpool, right? And so there's a Tottenham bar, there's a Man United bar, which we don't really pay attention to. There's a few other teams have got presence. City doesn't really have a presence here, so that's kind of comical as well. But you've got this Premier League culture. But then once we built New Mexico United, it brought in people from all folds of life, right? And that's one thing people ask us all the time. Like, we've averaged 10,000 fans a game for going into our 7th year now. Wow. How do we do it? It's not all soccer fans that are coming to the games. We're introducing people to the game every single week. I mean, we estimate 3,000 to 4,000 of those fans every week. It's their first time at a professional soccer game. And so when you look at what the USL has done for the ecosystem as a whole in the United States, we're introducing people to our beautiful sport every single week. And they get there. Our match day atmosphere is electric. You guys have got to come to a game. The invite's always open. I'll roll out the black and yellow carpet for you. Come on out. It's a palpable electricity that you really can't get anywhere else. I think it's truly unique to New Mexico, and you can feel the pride of New Mexicans shining through every Saturday night. So it's a beautiful thing.
That's pretty incredible attendance numbers and that estimation of having that many first timers there. I saw in your notes that you sent over that you guys have 4,000 season ticket holders, which is an incredible number. So you're 7 years in. Which year was the biggest jump to where you are now, or was it getting 10,000 from the start?
Yeah, I mean, the first year we were averaging 12,000, and so that first year was gangbusters. It was we'd set a goal in the office. We have a sales bell where every time a sales rep sold a season ticket. A lot of people don't realize lower level soccer, we're small businesses, right? I have a front office that support me and do the hard work of 30 people, and then we've got a lot of other people around doing things. And on a game day, there's 400 people in the stadium making it go. But yeah, it's that first year was enormous, and then we hit COVID. We were the only pro soccer team in the world in 2020 to not play a home game in our home market. Our state's restrictions were so tight, we had to play all the games on the road. And remarkably, we got to rent Colorado Springs Stadium. They were nice enough to lend it to us for one game. That was our home game, and 1,000 New Mexicans drove the 5 hours to Colorado Springs to be at that home game during COVID. And then we bounced out of COVID with limited restrictions. So then we never quite caught up the numbers from year one, and we were no longer the new shiny object in town, right? But it's continued to stay consistent with the 6-year average. We had a little lower on Saturday, at 9,500, I believe, on Saturday. But 2 weeks before that, we had close to 11. So it all balances out at around 10,000 a game.
And you've been consistently successful on the field, which is obviously a part of this story, Ron. So how does this team manage to be, good enough to be in the playoffs and be making things exciting for fans that way? Because if you're the new shiny object and you don't win, people will drift away.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. 6 out of 7 years we've been in the playoffs. It comes down to coaching, and it comes down to our sporting director now who's in full time. So Troy Lissane was the club's first ever head coach. He's now the head coach of DC United. We had Zach Prince right after him, who was now his assistant coach. Eric Quill was our head coach last year. He's now the head coach at FC Dallas. We seem to be the place to go if you want to get coached in the MLS. Right now, Dennis Sanchez is our new head coach. But kind of behind the scenes, pulling the strings, is Itamar Kinen, who's our sporting director. Does a phenomenal job of playing almost the Moneyball game of soccer and finding the right players to fit our system that not necessarily everyone's ranting and raving about. So when we do our player announcements, fans are like, I'm not sure if I've heard of this person yet, but they come in and they fit right into that system. And I think that's the way that football should be played. I mean, we look at our favorite team, Rob, right? And that's what Liverpool does. Like, I can't wait to see Caicedo give a guard of honor to Endo in a couple of weeks, and we go down to Chelsea and play down there. So
yeah, that will definitely be a moment to savor indeed. There has been a number of big announcements in USL this year so far. A Division 1, a league being established, and then on top of that, promotion and relegation being thrown into the mix was voted and approved. So seemingly that's going to happen. So where does New Mexico fit? Is New Mexico a first division team right out the gate?
I think we are. I think, the track record speaks for itself. I think you look at our fandom, you look at our success on and off the pitch. We have a retail store down in the Nob Hill area of Albuquerque. Most soccer teams don't have that. So we're a year-round business, 360 days a year. That store is open. We do events down there. We attract new fans every single day that just walk by, come in the retail store. We've created a movement, and I don't mean to sound cocky. I think we're just very confident in what we've built, what we're continuing to build. And ultimately, as you guys probably know, we do play in a baseball stadium right now, and we're moving diligently. I'm sure that's a question that's coming. Moving diligently towards building our own privately funded stadium in the next couple of years here, once we can just get past the last hurdle in the courts.
Well, Ron, I think that's the question when we talk American soccer, right? It was the question for MLS for a very long time, and it still is in a couple of cities, but largely MLS has solved it, and they've built a bunch of soccer stadiums. And my theory is, of course, and it's just not reinventing anything, but my theory is once you get your own place and people identify that with your club, your roots are in the ground and you're not going anywhere. And it feels like something people want to support. People see Yankee Stadium and they know next year there's going to be a Yankees team that they can follow. So where is that process? And what does the concept look like for New Mexico United when it comes to building a proper soccer stadium?
Yeah, sure. And as I'm talking, I don't know if you guys have any pictures you could show of it, or if you wanted me to, I can. But it's it's been a journey since 2021 was when we started this journey on trying to build that stadium right after COVID. There was a bond put on the ballot here in Albuquerque, and unfortunately, the voters said they did not want to fund a publicly funded stadium. So when we realized we had to go private, so for the last 2 years, we've been on this journey, and there's laws and policies in place to protect citizens that might feel like building something might not be to their best benefit. So there are processes you have to go through, and that's just been a slow process for us. We have won all the appeals that have been done. I mean, through this process, I'll tell you guys, being the guy that's been kind of the face of the club trying to get this thing done, I was on the longest Zoom meeting of my life. It was an 8-hour Zoom meeting in one of these stadium meetings that was an appeal about some of the neighbors. You know, it's really a couple dozen neighbors that don't want the stadium near them. But the stadium's going to be built in Balloon Fiesta Park, which is a really well-known place here. There's an international hot air balloon festival that comes to Albuquerque every year. Over 1 million visitors, representing dozens and dozens of countries, and it's a beautiful event. And people come to this 400-acre park to do this thing. But outside of that event, there's not a lot of big events that happen there. And the park, just the 400 acres, just kind of sits there. So what this will do, the stadium is going to be there, is going to activate that park, throughout the rest of the year. And we can host all kinds of cool events, not just soccer games. Of course, there's other things that can be held there too. But yeah, we've been on this journey now, like I said, for 4 years. And everyone says, I get asked 4 times a day, right? From fans, from corporate partners, from everyone in the media, like, when's it going to happen? I think the honest answer is we just don't know yet until the courts have said it's good to go. But we've won our appeals so far. Right now, it's basically the city is caught up with neighborhood associations and some lawsuit stuff. I don't need to bore you with all that, but it will get built, and I'm hoping in the next couple of years.
We have a question in the chat from the Ultras. Who has been the traveling support that's done the most traveling to New Mexico?
The most traveling to New Mexico, in the early days, it was Phoenix and El Paso. I think it's probably still those 2 teams that are our biggest rivals. We'll be heading down to El Paso this weekend, actually. I think we'll have 250 fans driving to El Paso, which is a 4-hour drive, which in the United States is not very far. But if you look at that like in England or something, that's a long away day. But yeah, Phoenix and El Paso are the big ones. San Diego used to travel pretty well when the Loyal were around. They did really well. And I'll always kind of rave about our fan support. I go to a lot of away games. Our owner goes to just about all of them. There's never a game where there's not 25 or more New Mexico United fans. And so Rhode Island I went to, there was 25 fans. And New Mexicans have this pride about being New Mexican, and we feel like we represent the entire state really well. And so when I was in the Rhode Island game last year, there's people from Boston, from Connecticut, from Delaware, from Maryland that were expats from New Mexico that then come to see the team when it's near them. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome. I'm glad you named the club New Mexico United so that none of us have to spell Albuquerque on a regular basis.
Yeah.
I guess that was part of the research, right?
No, it's intentional though, because we're a big state by area. We're the 5th largest state in the union by area. That's how large the state is. But there's only 2 million people, right? And so it's very spread out. And so this is something that can bring everyone together. And I think one thing we've done really well is we meet people where they're at. And so we'll go to Clovis, which is 2.5 hours away. We'll go down to Carlsbad, which is 3.5 hours away, and do a free soccer clinic for kids through our foundation. We'll go up to Farmington, which is 3 hours away, and activate. And we have season ticket holders and all this. We have season ticket holders that are 3-4 hours away that come in every weekend. There's a home game. So it's pretty cool.
Your New Mexico United taking on the road El Paso Locomotive, your next game up. Is that a game fans should be excited for?
All the time. I mean, it's called the Derby del Camino Real. We were named by the USL as the best rivalry in the league a few years ago. Have a great relationship with El Paso. Our fan groups don't necessarily like each other too much, but they respect the rivalry. Last year we got down there and got the 3 points. We have a little corner section of the stadium that they give the away team with a little bit of a limited view, which is kind of a little gamesmanship, I think. But we love it. We go down there, stay at a hotel right by the stadium. El Paso's done a great job with their downtown. And so we stay in that hotel in their downtown. We're able to do a pregame party with a couple hundred people. And then we go over to the stadium. It's the way football should be, right, guys?
Got one more
Absolutely.
question from the chat from you, Ian, one of our members. Are there any clubs that you try to model New Mexico United after? Brighton and Brentford are trending obvious, but what can you say about what New Mexico United might have been kind of modeled after?
Great question. I've never been asked that one.
Don't say Liverpool. Don't say Liverpool.
Oh, no, I'm not. I mean, obviously that's what drove my love for the game and what I think about the ideal. But I'm going to give a weird answer. I'm going to say, you know what? No one really. We're modeling the next best version of ourselves in New Mexico. And I think that's what we're trying to build. And, New Mexico is, like I said, it's a beautiful place. And we've given the state something to be super, super proud of with this club. We have unique partnerships like Meow Wolf, which no one had ever heard about 10 years ago. There's a little art startup in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Now they're in Los Angeles, they're going to New York, they're in Houston, Dallas. But it started in New Mexico. And all of our jersey sponsors are New Mexican companies, right? So we can do this with New Mexicans, and we are doing it, and we'll continue to do it.
So
Great.
New Mexico United, uniting the state and doing some incredible collaborations by the seam of it, and then a stadium in the future. So onward and upward for New Mexico United, it would seem. Tell the folks that are watching that might be curious to learn more about your club where they should go.
Yeah, I mean, I think our marketing team does a great job on our social media channels. Check out our Instagram channel, New Mexico UTD is all of our handles, or NewMexicoUTD.com. We've got great merch if anyone wants to check it out. It's a great place to find it. And we need to get you guys some jerseys. Actually, I don't think you have any jerseys. So
Do not.
So Ron Patel, president of New Mexico United, thank you so much for joining us and letting us know about the soccer district of Albuquerque, New Mexico, and the extra bonus of celebrating the team across the pond. Thank you so much. Viewers, thank you for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed yet, wait no longer. Hit the subscribe button and join the MK Ultras and join in. Priority commenting and access to videos for members. So don't forget about that. You can follow along on social media, X, Instagram, and Blue Sky. Write us an email, morningkickaround@gmail.com. You can also support on coffee.com/morningkickaround and find us as a podcast, Morning Kick Around, on your favorite audio platform.